Joining us now, Tom Cotton of the Armed Services Committee. Senator Kirby said the U.S. military, as I said, has a sacred obligation to murder children in the womb. That is, that's what Christians across this country, faithful Muslims, Jewish Americans, they want to send their kids into the U.S. military for the sacred obligation of being able to ensure that more babies are aborted. That's where we are in the United States today.
Laura, that short clip is stunning. As you said, that's part of a 3-minute ode to abortion, calling it a sacred obligation to provide abortions. John Kirby is not talking about, some airman who's in Guam and discovers a rare but treatable cancer. Of course, we bring that person back and pay their expenses to get treatment in America. He's talking about elective abortions. And the Democratic Party has such skewed priorities that the policy of our military is now that they're going to pay 15 days of leave, not charged against your annual leave, and your travel, and your lodging, and your meals, so you can go get an elective abortion. But if your mom or dad dies, you get to take leave out of your own 30 days of annual leave, and you have to pay all your expenses. That's the Democratic Party's priorities. Well,
it's clearly what they're running on, right? This is the fear-mongering over abortion and the Dobbs decision. But we have to think about this for a moment, because Democrats talk about an existential threat to democracy, Trump or DeSantis or whatever, existential threat to democracy. I think this is an existential threat to our military, because I don't know how you in good conscience can ask all these people across the country, middle America, especially in the South, send your men and women, your boys and girls into the U.S. military, because these are the values that we want to, export abroad, or you're going to have to pay for this?
And then they turn around and accuse us of trying to politicize the military when it's the Biden administration that has injected all these issues, paying for elective abortions.
But what is the Senate going to do here?
Surgeries.
Does Mitch McConnell care about this? I know you care about it.
Unfortunately, I don't think Chuck Schumer's Senate's going to do a lot about it. But I was pleased last week that the Republican House passed a defense bill that defunded a lot of these matters. And I hope that our final bill does that as well. We had some good success over the last 2 years of stopping the Democrats, surprisingly, when we're in the minority, of turning some of these policies into law. I'm hopeful that by the end of the year that we can have a bill that looks more like the House defense bill than what the Senate defense bill looks like.
You could have all of you standing together, like you stand for big priorities, and stand together and say, stop doing this to our military, because Americans, taxpayers, are not going to put up with this. They're not going to do the trans care. They're not going to do the abortions. They're not going to put up with it. So all of you senators should be up there speaking about this directly to camera. That's what I hope. All right, our own Jennifer Griffin today asked the Secretary of Defense if the current DOD policy on abortion travel is a violation of the Hyde Amendment. Senator, watch this.
They deserve to have access to non-covered reproductive health care. And that's what this policy does. It's not illegal, and we've made that point a number of times. This is a readiness issue.
I mean, he should lose the job just for that comment. This is a readiness issue. If you can't have an abortion in another state, our military is not going to be ready.
Which you are perfectly allowed to do with your 30 days of annual leave. It is a violation of the Hyde Amendment to not only provide paid non-charge leave, but also to pay for travel and lodging and meals. And I just have to say, John Kirby and Lloyd Austin, all these Democrats, they keep talking about reproductive health care.
How is it reproducing? You're not reproducing.
This is abortion. You know who doesn't think it's reproductive health care? The baby. It's like, Ronald Reagan used to say, I've noticed that everyone in favor of abortion has already been born.
Yeah, they should start their comments. Speaking as a former embryo, Senator, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Senate does on this, because I love our military. I care about them. But I think they're going to find themselves up against a wall here on these issues. Thank you so much. Great to see you in studio. Yeah. All right.